What is the use of an education if it teaches history but does not teach how to create history? Do we teach science or do we teach the science of living?
In Bible it is said that if two or more people come together to pray or to seek knowledge, God will bless them. Me as a teacher who is willing to share knowledge, you as a seeker who is ready to receive the knowledge, let us combine the existential grace. I strongly feel that wherever good things happen, God will always bless. So with seeking the blessings of the God, my parents and my teachers, I wish to begin. I strongly feel that we should not have a day like Mother's Day to tell mother how much we love her. We should not have a day, Valentine's Day, to express love towards our loved ones. Similarly, we should not have a day like Teachers' Day to show our gratitude to all the teachers. Nevertheless, I am very happy that at least there is one day to remember the forgotten gratitude towards the teachers. God creates, teacher recreates. Before I begin the speech, I wish to start with a story. There was this king, and kings are always crazy people. They get these crazy ideas. So on a day, king got this idea to felicitate that one person who is a prominent personality in the kingdom. So he called all the ministers to find out who is that prominent personality in this kingdom. So one minister goes away and comes out and gives an answer. Sir, we have to felicitate all the business people. Because if there is no business in this kingdom, we will not generate wealth. So we should felicitate all the business people. Suddenly there was another person who stands up and says, No, I don't agree that it is the business people who should get felicitated. We should felicitate all the software engineers, because if software engineers are not there, it would have been difficult for a king to manage around 68 villages without visiting the villages. We should felicitate all the software engineers. Suddenly another minister stands up and says, No sir, I don't agree that it should be the software engineers. We should felicitate all the laborers. If laborers are not there, we the thinkers, we will not be execute our ideas without having laborers. Suddenly another person stands up and says, I don't agree with all these ministers. We should felicitate the soldiers. If soldiers are not there, our kingdom would have become another person's kingdom. We should felicitate soldiers. Suddenly the king gets into a dilemma. For every Akbar there is a Birbal. So the king goes into one of the ministers whom he has got a tremendous, doubtless trust. The king asked that minister, Now I am in a dilemma, can you please help? That minister comes out and says, Give me half an hour time, I will come out with an answer. So entire 68 ministers are sitting in the palace, and after half an hour, the minister enters, and after the minister enters, an 85-year-old lady who is unable to walk enters into the palace. When she enters into the palace, suddenly few ministers who are there on the right side stands up, and after seeing that elderly lady, the ministers on the right hand side also stand up, and all the ministers will stand up within 30 to 40 seconds. And suddenly king looks into that minister and says, Who is this lady who is getting so much respect in this palace? And the minister looks into the eyes of the king and says that, most of the ministers said that please felicitate the business people, please felicitate software engineers, please felicitate laborers, and please felicitate soldiers. Here is the teacher who taught all these people to aim it very big in life. She is the teacher who made all these teachers. Everyone is shaped by a teacher. Even a teacher is also shaped by a teacher. I think teaching, according to me, is a selfless expression of an individual. As a teacher who has gone through this tremendous satisfaction, probably one of the very few human beings who feels very happy, not when he becomes successful, but when their students become successful. I think according to me, a professor in IIM Ahmedabad goes on to create entrepreneurs year on year, but he still remains to be a professor. According to me, teacher is a ladder at one place where students will use this ladder to make their dreams come true, and the leader will still remain the leader. And I want to start this speech with a tremendous heartfelt gratitude to all the teachers who are sitting in front of me. My heartfelt gratitude to all the teachers who are touching and transforming the lives of hundreds and thousands of people. Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers. To all the teachers. And whatever I am going to say, this is coming from my heart. And I strongly think that it might create ripples in the minds of the teachers. And I wish to say this. If I don't say this, I think as a person whose signature is excited to be a teacher, I think somewhere I will debase the sanctity of the job which I am performing. A student, every student who is studying in a college goes through emotional disturbances, relationship problems. Nowadays, we live in a society where so many people say that students don't respect their teachers, students are disobedient, students are not punctual, students have got bad habits, bad words will just come out of their mouth like an ocean. And a lot of students, there is a lot of complaint from teachers that students go through all these problems. Now I want to ask everyone who is listening to this, who is going to take care of the issue? Please let us look at from a student point of view. He wakes up at morning 7 o'clock, 7 to 9 o'clock, he goes through a tuition. What is taught in tuition? Subject is taught in tuition. He gets into a college. From 9:15 to 5:15, what is taught in every class? Subject is taught. He comes to home, eats his snacks and again goes back to tuition. What is taught in tuition? Again subject is taught. He reaches home at night 8 o'clock. Then there is a discussion with parents. Parents' worriment is, my kid is not good in subject. What is discussed in home? Subject is discussed. There are suicides happening in schools. There are relationship problems. It frustrates me and it makes me disappointing every day. As a person who lives with human potential, how come a student commits suicide just because there is no person who tells him that to achieve success, everyone has to go through this failure? And it worries me every day when I go to sleep. And everyone is worried about teaching subject. There is this class that is introduced in our school system, that is moral sciences classes. Unfortunately, that is the class right now which is used by the other teachers to complete their portion, and we don't teach. That means moral values can take a back seat, subject can take the forefront, and it's a worriment to me. I think what is the value of an education if it tells people to become successful in life but does not tell people how to live value with a value-based education system? What do you learn from your teachers? You don't learn from your teachers only subject. You learn the value of discipline. And there was this teacher, if I look back my schooling, if I look back my college studies, and I am not a person who is an extremely intelligent right through my schooling, but I still remember the first value system which I learned from my school teachers is, and I am a person who always sits in last bench because I am not a person who used to go to schools with this belief system that I am learning. I was forced to go to schools, I never enjoyed. And there was a point of a time I hated this subject, that is biology. And the teacher made the statement, all the students who failed in the unit test, please go out of the class. And I went out of the class, and he is a very tough teacher because he used to beat every student. And I did not attempt that examination. If you do not attempt the examination, it is as equal to failing in the examination. I went outside and he started beating every student, and I was the 9th student, and I was terrified that he is going to beat me. And just a few days before, I don't know what happened to him. First time he said, hey you, tomorrow you are going to explain this concept. Trust me, in my life, I can say it with an experiential authority. Teacher's attention is a blessing to the student. A teacher's eyes always oscillate between the best of the academic students and the notorious student. If teacher, instead of looking at the first row and the last row students, if his eyes fell on a student who requires that extra push, trust me, that ordinary student can become an extraordinary human being. I don't need any examples to validate my statement. I myself is a classical example. In the direction he saw, 12 people became apostles. They are nothing but the disciples of Jesus. A monkey, one person entered into the forest. That one monkey went on to become a divine proportion. That is Hanuma. And who is Swami Vivekananda without Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? Who is Sachin Tendulkar without Ramakant Achrekar? Who is O.M. Nambiyar without P.T. Usha? Greatness of a teacher towards a student is to tell the student how capable he is. And here was this teacher by name Bhima Rao sir. First time I don't know what has happened. And trust me, if I were to speak from heart, till 13 years, even my parents did not believe that I am an academic material. Even my parents did not believe that I can get probably a top 5 percentage. And here was this teacher who said to me, I think you can do a good job, but only thing is that you are very lazy. Please overcome that laziness. And I was standing as the 9th person with my legs shivered, because at least there was one individual who told that I can become someone in life. In front of his eyes itself, I became a failure, and I was standing as the 9th person, and he was beating like hell for the 8th person. He came close to me. He looked into my eyes, and I bowed my head down. I don't know. I was feeling sad that in his eyes I am becoming a failure. He raised his stick and he thought that he is going to beat me. And instead of beating me, he just ruffled my hair and he just asked me to lift my head up and said, Anil can't be a failure in biology. You know what he taught me? I don't remember anything what he taught in biology subject. I don't remember anything. But what he taught me in my life is forgiveness. He taught me one value system which remained with me till my last breath is forgiveness. According to me, forgiveness is my ability not to hurt someone even though he has hurt me. And without teaching me that this is forgiveness, he has taught me the greatest value. Subject will be forgotten by students, but the value system what teacher teaches, nobody in the students will ever forget. And this is one value system which my teacher has taught me right when I was in my 8th class. And I still remember one of the teachers whom I have got a tremendous respect shared this story with me, and which I think in every school, in every class, in every tuition, this story should be shared so that it creates a change in teachers. It seems it happened in one of the schools of USA. There was a teacher by name Mrs. Thompson. She entered into the class and that was her first class in 7th. She looked into the eyes of all 70 students who are listening to the class. She said that, I love you all. But she knew from the bottom of her heart that she is lying. Because there was a student sitting in the last row. His name is Teddy. And Teddy does not have an eye contact with the teacher. Teddy is wearing dirty clothes. Teddy is shabby. A teacher, a student sitting there, you can pass remarks about a teacher. This teacher is not good. He cannot communicate very well. He cannot explain the concept very well. As a student sitting there, you can pass remarks about the teacher who is taking the class. But as a teacher standing here, if I decided to touch and transform lives, even in my wildest dreams also, I should not think bad about a student. One student said at the beginning of the student class that it is the great teachers who will reveal great students. But my dear students, it is the reverse case. It is always the great teachers which will make an ordinary teacher and an extraordinary teacher. But unfortunately, Thompson does this mistake. Thompson starts hating Teddy. And after an year, it was a time to give the remarks in the progress report. Thompson writes something in the progress report. We live in this education system where we use words without understanding why we are using it. A progress report, according to Anil Nair, is a report which shows some progress in it. Unfortunately, our progress report does not show progress in it. If a kid opens the progress report, he should take pride that I am growing in my life. And progress report is a data point to show that I am growing in my life. I am improving in a subject. A teacher should look at the progress report and say that it's a blessing to teach such a student. A parent should look at a progress report and say that it's so wonderful to have such a kid with a tremendous great academic results. But unfortunately, our progress report does not show any progress in it. And that Thompson writes something in the progress report. Teddy will be one of the most unsuccessful people I have ever seen in the future years. And like every school system, this progress report reaches headmistress. Headmistress has to countersign it, and it will go back to teacher, and the teacher will give it back to the student. And headmistress looks at the progress report and it's a concern to her. She calls Thompson and asks, why did you write like this? And Thompson says with a lot of confidence, nothing better can be written about Teddy, and this is the best I can write about Teddy. And headmistress asks Thompson to sit and calls the administrative office and asks them to bring 4th class, 5th class and 6th class progress report. Administrative office brings the 4th class and 5th class and 6th class progress report. Headmistress says, please look into the 4th class progress report. Thompson opens the 4th class progress report, and it was a greatest shock to her life. The teacher who gave the remark in the 4th class progress report writes like this: it's a privilege for me to teach a student by name Teddy, because I am teaching to a class where Teddy is present and he is asking too many doubts. My understanding of the subject has grown 10x times because Teddy is asking too many doubts. To all the great teachers who are listening to me will understand that it is always the bad students who will make good students, good teachers, great teachers. Ordinary teachers have got a habit of telling the students not to ask doubts in the class. I think all great teachers will correlate with me. Any class where students are expected to remain silent in the class, you are destroying the intelligence of a student. And the teacher writes, it's a privilege to teach a student like Teddy, and it is something which is surprising to Thompson. How come a teacher can write like this? Because in Thompson's class, Teddy always remains silent and he is aloof from the others. She looks into the eyes of headmistress. Headmistress says, please open the 5th class progress report. And she opens the 5th class progress report, and the 5th class teacher writes, Teddy mother is suffering from pancreatic cancer. When Teddy came to know that my mother is suffering from pancreatic cancer, slowly his performance in the class is going down and he is not attending regularly classes. Even he is attending, he is not paying attention. He is worried that his mother will leave this place. And slowly tears starts coming from Thompson. Thompson looks into the eyes of headmistress. Headmistress says, please open the 6th class progress report. With hands shivering, she opens the 6th class progress report and the 6th class teacher writes like this: Teddy's mother died because of pancreatic cancer, and after losing his mother, Teddy felt that the person whom I love the most has passed away. I think, why am I living this life? And he is starting from home. He is dropping in between. He is sitting in bus stand and he is not coming to the classes. Slowly, the extraordinary individual who always used to sit in first row and make teachers uncomfortable with a lot of subject doubts went on to become the last row student, and slowly he became irregular to the class, and tears are coming down from Thompson. Headmistress looks into the eyes of Thompson and makes this statement: never ever judge any student without knowing the background of the student. Never ever judge any. You should judge the person whom you are getting married to. Your relationship with the person will increase. You should judge the place where you are investing your business. Your business skills will increase. Never ever judge any student without knowing the background of the student. And after listening to this story, Thompson writes a letter to Teddy saying that, Teddy, from today onwards, I will play the role of mother as well as teacher today. And for all the people who want to know, Teddy today is one of the most coveted professors in United Kingdom, and today Thompson's son listens to Teddy's class. To all the teachers, never ever judge any student without knowing the background of the student. And most of the teachers do this mistake. They often put, he is an academically brilliant student. He is someone. How beautiful it is when if we can introduce a philosophy into every class. And I wish to share to all the teachers out here, students no need to read Bible, no need to read Quran, no need to read any of the scriptures. The only scripture they will read is nothing but teacher's wisdom in the class. You don't need to tell them the entire chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You just tell him that one value system which they can create it. And I wish to share this as a person who is a very, very passionate teacher until my last breath, and I will be a teacher. And I wish to share this with every teacher out here. In 2 hours of your class, yes, you need to complete the syllabus. Take 1 hour 50 minutes class. But in 10 minutes, while you are taking attendance, why don't you say Shaker? Shaker stands for honesty. Reshma stands for integrity. He stands for discipline. So that everyone in the class thinks that. I think there is a one value system which you need to integrate with every student, so that the student can live a life. Because I strongly feel, going through right now, I think in school days, most of the people consider teachers as their demigods. And when it comes to colleges, teachers are the primary source of information. Look at the life of a student. Out of 24 hours, 8 to 10 hours he will sleep, and 8 to 10 hours he will be there in a school or a college. 4 hours he spends time with parents. That means a student spends almost greater than 30% of the time with teachers. What an impact a teachers can do in terms of, I think you can pick one student and you can tell him one value system. You have got 4 years. If a student is doing an engineering, a teachers who are teaching engineering has got 4 years, 1400 days to touch and transform the life of a student. And it worries me as a student who comes into an engineering college or a degree college with a lot of dreams. Somehow, after few days, there are only few colleges or few teachers who ignite that passion. It worries me when I do this survey. 78% of the student who goes into colleges, they don't go to learn something very exciting. They go because they derive a lot of interest. I'm sorry, not inside the classroom or outside the classroom. And to all the teachers out here, while taking a class, if you cannot create an interest in the subject that you are taking the class, student will always spend time where he derives a lot of interest. As a teacher, if you cannot create an interest in that subject, he will go out and spend time where there is a lot of interest. Actually, in India, not only in India, in most part of the world, we are not. When I take a mathematics class, it is not mandatory that all the students will show interest in mathematics, because there are a section of students who got a phobia towards mathematics, and this is something which I request all teachers teach about them, their life. When you teach about students' life, students will show interest into the class. When you teach about their life, students will show interest, and slowly make them love the teacher. If a student can love the teacher, automatically students will love that subject that is taught by the teacher. First golden rule to make the student listen to the class is, he should love the teacher. No student can love the subject without loving the teacher. We are all teacher driven people. I hate biology because I hate biology teacher. I love mathematics because I love the mathematics teacher. I still remember my school teacher used to come out with a various geometrical figures which absolutely not all teachers do it. And when I asked him this question, why do you do it? He says that when I show this pentagon to you, this is how you will visualize after the class. When you look at a figure, you will correlate that it is a pentagon, and that is the reason I wanted to show this pentagon to you. And to all the students who are listening, trust me, the life of a teacher is not easy. A teacher's life, as a tuition master, I can say this. My day starts at morning 4:45, 5 o'clock, prepares for my class even though I have taken the class 100 times till 6 o'clock, and then the milk vendor wakes up. I take class from morning 7 to 9, and I go to college and I take continuous class, and I come back and I take an evening class, and I go out and I open new books, and I again prepare for my next class, and my life goes on. I am not talking about me as a teacher. I am talking about all the people who relentlessly work for touching. I think if my school teacher, if my college teacher has quit his or her teaching profession because there is a materialistic temptation, if they would have quit that profession, probably I would not have become what I would have become if my teachers were not there in my life. I think teaching, according to me, is the only profession which is selfless by nature. Teachers are the God-chosen creatures. All it requires to turn a student life is, you don't need to take about the entire 2 hours class. Just one time, telling one student one good advice one warning, one suggestion, one piece of wisdom, one story from your personal life, that all it takes to turn a student life around. And I wish to say this, I think one of the greatest lessons, and I'm not going to say this what I learned from my books, and I'm going to say this what I learned. I think there was this teacher, and he never taught me in the class, because teachers are not the people who only take classes. And there is one teacher whom I have got a tremendous gratitude. His name is Mr. Shiv Kumar. Until my last breath, I owe a lot to him. And I still remember when I was 22, 23, when I was taking classes, initially, I used to take classes just to impress the students. All mattered to me is nothing but the claps. All mattered to me is nothing but the good feedback. And there was this point of a time when I was taking the class. I don't know why he loves me. I think I am one of the luckiest faculties who worked with Career Launcher, where I got a attention from my school teacher. And he came to me and he said, Anil, I wish to speak to you. And I went outside. He said, I don't want to tell you something inside this office, because if I say something inside the office, you will think that I am saying with some ulterior motto. I want to have a discussion with you in a park. We went outside and he said something to me which I will never forget in my life. Anil, every time when you enter into the four walls of a classroom, you should ask yourself this question. And if you can make every student think about this question, trust me, students will mentor you. He said, try to explain why, what and how to every student. Trust me, that student will remember you. It is very easy to identify a great teacher. A great teacher will be remembered even after his subject is over. A mediocre teacher will be remembered only during his course structure. It is very easy to remember whether a teacher is remembered or not. I think on a happy Teacher's Day, today I called my UKD teacher and I told her, I call her Amma, I said, Amma, you remember me? And she is a 95-year-old. She said, who is this? I said, I am Anil Nair. You taught me somewhere in late 80s. She said, Madam, happy Teacher's Day. Then she said one thing to me which made me think, you still remember me after 25 years. I'll never forget my teachers. And Shivku sir said this to me, explain every student why, what and how. I think if you can explain, if I can explain you through my speech, why am I conducting this session, what am I going to do in ANC, how am I going to do in ANC will be very clear to you. I think I can say this with a very selfish desire. For me, this institution is not an organization to me. And I don't want to be called as a teacher who drives an BMW car. And I don't want to be called as a teacher who has got this posh bungalow. I want to create a fraternity of students who believes that we can do something in the society. And I feel so happy today. Before the start of the session, I think this is one of the days where I will never forget in my life. I always wanted my students to do something to the society without coming to my cubicle and saying that, Anil sir, you are a wonderful teacher. Anil sir, it is so good to have you in my life. This soul by name Anil Nair will die one day. I am not going to stay forever. And I have got this selfish thought. I think through ANC, I along with my students, we have to touch 6.5 billion people. ANC is not an organization to me. ANC is a temple of transformation to me. AN should not be powerful. Anil Nair should not be powerful. The vision on which I am walking should be more powerful. And I wish to create an organization which is spiritually rooted and with a social objective. And I can say it with a pride within 2 years of my existence. And I'm so happy. Without saying anything, my students went on to do something for the social society. Hats off to all my students. I am proud that I am teaching to that set of students. In this materialistic aspiration, students and teachers have always got. Students pay money to the teachers, teachers provide an academic service, and it became more of a business model wherein service is taken. I feel so happy. Please go on and share. And my teacher said me this: Anil, always remember in your life, do you wish to be a teacher who is just like any other teacher, or do you wish to be a teacher who is a role model to other teachers? And I will never forget these lines. And here is an individual who always encouraged me when I quit my job in Career Launcher. He is the first individual who called me and said, Anil, through you, a lot of great things will unfold. My best wishes will always be there with you. I think on Teacher's Day will be an incomplete day if I don't show gratitude to that teacher who never taught me in the class, but who always showed me right direction through his actions. To all the teachers who have touched me, I think today is also a day where I wish to share this, because none of the people who are watching this video or who are listening to me should think that I come from a village background. It is very, very difficult for a village background to come out and start something of his own. And I started something. You know who taught me this quality? My school teachers, Sharda Madam and Sastri Sir, has taught me when I am staying in my hut, which rarely it is. Probably your one bedroom will be equivalent to my hut. And I still remember my school teacher came to my home and said, please learn English from me. And she asked me to sit beside. And when there was a time to give the fees, she always told me that, I know how much your father is earning. If you pay fees to me, your family cannot have 3-day meal. What I want you to do is, a day will come in your life where you become successful. That day when you become successful, right, instead of paying me the fees, why don't you take few people who are deserving and do not take fees? Madam taught me this greatest quality in me, that to lift the people at the bottom of the pyramid. And I wish to talk about that Sharda Madam. And I feel very sad today because this is one day which is very, very close to my heart. But unfortunately, my school teacher is not present because my school teacher's son got into a major accident 2 days before. And I told her, she said, Anil, it is not me which is important. I think please go ahead and touch some more souls. And I also wish to tell this, I think through this Teachers' Day celebration, I think I wish to make this day, and it's a very secret desire of Anil Nair. How come a Valentine's Day where a person writes from me without knowing to whom I am giving the card, and he goes in search of finding his loved one, he goes out and says to, are you available, are you available? How come a Valentine's Day is more popular than this Teacher's Day? We have got a Mother's Day, we have got a Father's Day. How come the Teacher's Day is not so popular like any other days? If I dig deep into it, one of the primary reasons is teachers don't take pride in saying that I am a teacher. I say it with a lot of confidence. My name is Anil Nair and my signature is excited to be a teacher. If teachers don't take pride in becoming a teacher, Everyone in this world is shaped by a teacher. A teacher is again shaped by a teacher. I think if teachers don't take pride in saying that I'm a teacher in every school, if teachers consider themselves as an employees of an organization and do a 9 to 5 job, for me teaching is not a profession. For me teaching is a calling. Every time when I enter into the four walls of a classroom, I ask myself this question: what more can I do to my students? What else I can do to my students? What more can I do apart from my subject knowledge? And this is a wanted attempt. I think through Anil Nair classes, I wish to bring back the glory of Takshashila, Nalanda, where students wait for teachers to come and share the knowledge. And there is a tremendous respect. I want to bring it. I think in every school, in every college, in at least in the next 10 years, if I can build a fraternity of 2,500 teachers and I can put them into schools and colleges, trust me, I think we can build a new India. But a new India can be built. When a new India can be built, only if wise people take up teaching profession. And I wish to create that fraternity of teachers who teach beyond classroom knowledge. And I strongly feel current students do not respect teachers the way my parents used to respect teachers. One of the reasons is teachers get into the classroom without too much of preparation. Teacher manages the class for 50 minutes. Teachers don't say it as if it is the last lecture of their class. And slowly the classroom gets diluted. When the classroom gets diluted, students started thinking that whatever the teacher is teaching, I can find it out in internet. Unless he or she finds a value addition into the class, I will not be able to respect a teacher. So my sincere suggestion to every teacher who is listening or watching this video, any teacher who enters into the class, this is my 8th year of my teaching experience. Till today, I have not taken a single class without 1.5 hours of a preparation before the start of the class, even though I have taken 150 times the same class, because it is a proven philosophy. Any student, if he hates a subject, one of the very, very important reasons why a student hates a subject is he or she got a bad teacher. He or she got a bad teacher. I think every teacher should get into the class thinking that it is not who is Rama that is important. Who is Rama to you is very, very important. I think most of you are reading the story of Sachin Tendulkar. When Sachin Tendulkar was nobody, even he himself does not knew that he can become the best cricketer the world is going to see in the next 20 years. Please also read about the story of Ramakant Achrekar, who went and convinced the parents of Sachin Tendulkar that please believe that your son is going to be the greatest cricketer the world is going to see. How many parents are going to say to the child to do something apart from getting a secured job and everything? I think most of the parents are worried that my son or my daughter should get a secured job, my son or daughter should get a settled in life. I think that point of a time, Ramakant Achrekar convinced the parents of Sachin Tendulkar to allow him to go out and play cricket instead of coming into the classes. I think it is the tremendous trust of Ramakant Achrekar towards Sachin Tendulkar, and it is also the faith of Sachin Tendulkar towards the coaching abilities. The greatest cricketer is evolved. Kerala Kutti. And in Kerala, after 17 years, most of the girls get married and live the life of a housewife. There was this person who came and said, you should not live your entire life like an housewife. There is one unique ability in you. You are a good runner. If you can go out and practice, there are a lot of people at the bottom of the pyramid whom you can take an inspiration. O.M. Nambiar is not a great athlete when compared to P.T. Usha, but it was the coaching of O.M. Nambiar that showed P.T. Usha onto the world map. You take all the successful people into the classroom and look at the first primitive years of the life. I think around 60 to 70% of the people will say this answer. There was one person who entered into their life and showed them a path, and he left so that the students can go it. And look at the thousands of people who are aspiring to become Sachin Tendulkars. I think the teacher plays a tremendous role into the society. And I say this in all my classes to all the female students out here. This is one value. Post-menstrual cycle, she goes through tremendous excruciating pain in terms of her periods and everything. Please take care of your wife for that 3 to 5 days. Remaining 25 days, she will take care of you. First thing it into my mind is, why should I think about me getting married and take care of my wife? There is one woman in my family who is going through this excruciating pain every month. That is my mother, who taught me the quality of respecting women. My teacher taught me this quality. If my teacher would not have shared story with me, today I would not have taught this value system. Today we speak about women getting raped onto the roads, brutally raped. A 5-year-old, 6-year-old getting raped by a gym instructor. And if I dig deep into it, one of the root causes is we don't inculcate values in a day-to-day class. As long as students go through a breakup issues, relationship issues, students learn more bad than about good. Bad makes a lot of noise. Good teachers are no more respected. Teachers who are more of entertainers in the class are more respected. I think one of the reasons is, I request through this, you are a wise person. I think take out time and take up teaching profession. I think for me, what gave me the most happiest moment, and I decided to be a teacher with one reason, that I could not tolerate an individual dying because she failed in 10th class maths. It burns me. I'm a person, and trust me, it hurts me and it is burning me from inside. Every second day in all the newspapers, at least we read one article where a school person, where an intermediate individual commits suicide. When a person commits suicide in a family, already few more people commit suicide by thinking about the memories of an individual. Why can't we develop such an educational system which tells people, and I'm telling all the teachers, it's very, very important to teach that Thomas Alva Edison discovered electric bulb. Yes, it's very important because it gives 1 mark. But apart from teaching, if you can tell it in the class, do you know, my dear students, Thomas Alva Edison has failed this many number of times before he discovered an electric bulb. You know what is the magic that happens in the class? The student who is sitting in the last class, who has failed in one of the subjects, he knocks his friend and says that I failed in only one subject. Thomas Alva Edison has failed 9,999 times. Still I can make it very, 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 very big in life. I think that is the kind of belief system we as teachers need to build into every system. And I also wish to say this, I think if I look back my entire life, if you ask me who are my role models, I have read so many books and there were so many people who has inspired me across various verticals of my professional life. But the only people who have inspired me walking the talk is my teachers. And I wish to say this, if any student who is listening to my class or watching this video, I think the only thing which I can request through this Teachers' Day is, every day you get one day. Can you please give a call to all the teachers who have given you this kind of materialistic aspiration? Can you go back? And why am I asking you to do it? If you are a parent, on a Teachers' Day, when you lift a phone and give a call to the teachers for their kids, parents are the only Bibles they will read. Kid will inculcate that belief system by looking at the parents. How did a kid learn how to tell lie? Because parent has said to the kid, if he gives a call, please tell them that I am not present. That is how teachers and parents create that belief system. And I also strongly feel that on the day, now let me complete that story. On the day when he was going through this class, I don't remember what my biology teacher has taught me, but he taught me how to respect women. I think Women's Day is not a day where men will respect women. Women should also respect women. And I wish to end my speech by saying something to all the people who are going to watch this video in the coming years. I hold my hands and I say this to all the viewers. A day will come in your life where every one of you will be successful in your life. If ever you become successful in your life, maybe after 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, if ever you get an opportunity, my sincere request to all viewers and all the people, when you have more money, more power, fame with you, please go back to villages and educate one individual. We don't require people with high academics, high and everything. High academics, yes, I am not worried about the people. 2% of the people are academically brilliant. 98% of the people they don't have a great teachers. Please take out time and go and give back and share knowledge. Why am I asking you to share knowledge? A cow, by giving milk, it feeds a family of 4 people. By killing goat, it gives chicken to at least 20 people. You keep a parrot in a cage. Parrot takes care of the boss by telling the horoscope of the stranger. We are all human beings. If we cannot touch and transform at least 10 people before we die, I think we have not done justice. I say this to my family members. A day will come where I will die. Before I die, I wish to look back my entire life and say that, yes, I lived my life with only intent to touch and transform people. I wish to build that kind of stadium with absolutely no one behind me. I don't have money with me. I don't have great people with me. But I have one thing with me, which definitely I will make ANC a revolution in the coming years. I wish to build a stadium with absolutely no one. And I strongly feel that anyone can defeat anyone, but no one can defeat that one person who has the burning desire to do something for the society. I might not have great English like other teachers. I said this to one of my teachers. When I took a session, one teacher told me, Anil, your grammar in that sentence is incorrect. I told this to my teacher. My grammar in English might be incorrect, but my grammar towards my life is 100% right. And I wish to build that educational system where I along with my student, and I strongly feel that it is never an I in my life. When I say I with my faculty members, with my students, with all the people who belong to this path, every year, even in my absence, wherever you are there, please take out time instead of going and giving call and saying Happy Teachers Day. Go and do something for the society. It is not the teacher that is important to everyone. It is the teacher, teachings of the teacher which is more powerful than the teacher. And I wish to say this, what Rasul Pokutti has said when he got one of the awards for his movie. He came into the dais and he spoke about Danny Boyle, and he also said something which I really liked. He said, to a large extent, whatever I am today is because of my teacher. And I wish to repeat the line to all the people, whatever I become, whatever I am today, it will always be because of my teachers. If you ask my signature, every time I give a signature, I always remember my school teacher who taught me the alphabets. With a lot of heartfelt gratitude to all the teachers who are doing relentless service in touching and transforming the life. I wish to say once again, Happy Teachers Day. Let we be the face of the crowd and say to everyone that we are teachers. We touch and transform people. James Michener, one of the greatest author, he wrote innumerous books. The President of America sends a letter to him saying that we want to honor you in White House and we request you to come on to this day. We want to felicitate you. And James Michener replies back to that letter saying that, I am sorry, sir, that day when you invited me to White House to felicitate me, that is the day the teacher who taught me how to write a book, she is getting retired in the school. My absence in White House might go unnoticed, but my presence on that day where my teacher is getting retired means a lot to my teacher. I am sorry, I will come one more day. Right. And the President of America replies back saying that, James, what you said is very, very true. In an entire life of an American, at least he will see 10 to 12 presidents, right? But you are that lucky person if any student gets that one great teacher in your life. You are a blessed soul who got such a great teacher in your life. Your absence in White House will not go unnoticed. I will wait for the day where you are free and I request you to come with the teacher who taught you, and that is the power of a teacher. Let us take these Teachers Day beyond celebrating it in terms of just saying gratitude. Let us do something which a teacher asks you to do rather than the teacher. Thank you very much. With a lots of love. Thank you once again.